Hi guys, and welcome back to the Fentech HTML class. So in our last video we talked about description list, block level elements and inline elements. So for today's class we're going to be looking at HTML bookmarks with ID and length. So before I start, this code is looking so bulky, just so that as you're watching you don't get confused of what you are doing. I'm going to be deleting some things off here. So okay, so let me cut this. Yeah, so now I like that it's very less, like it's now spacious that we can use it. So for today let's look at okay, so let's work here. Good. So let's talk about HTML bookmarks. So HTML bookmarks are used to allow readers to jump to specific parts of a web page. So bookmarks can be useful if your page is very long. So to use a bookmark, you must first create and then add a link to it. Then when the link is clicked, the page will scroll to the location with the bookmark. So for example, let's try something else. We're going to start by doing our H2. Okay. I pressed Control instead of Shift, so that's why the settings came up. So we have our H2. We're going to have ID equals to let's have C4. Then we're going to close it. Then in between there, let's have chapter 4. Then let's use this a let's use that equals to hashtag C4. Then we're going to close it. This space is too much. Yeah, then in between jump to chapter 4. So I'm going to save. Yeah, then I'm going to view it now. Live page. So just reload. Okay, so as you can see, it came out as a link. Now it's not going to jump because we don't have a chapter 4. So this can be used mostly if you're creating a website that has a lot of news, or maybe if you're creating a website for your story or creating a website for your blog and you have various. I'll mostly use story because stories have chapters. So let's say you're in chapter 1 and you want to like jump to chapter 4 immediately to check what happened to the girl or what happened in chapter 4, you can just use that and it's going to appear under chapter 1. And once you just click it, it goes jump to chapter 4, like it just goes down to chapter 4. So that's that about that. Now let's do a summary about this ID attribute. So the ID attribute is used to specify a unique ID for an HTML element, and the value of the ID attribute must be unique within the HTML document. Now the ID attribute is used by CSS and JavaScript to style or select a specific element, and the value of the ID attribute is case sensitive. Next, the ID attribute is also used to create HTML bookmarks like what we just did, and JavaScript can access an element with a specific ID with get element by ID method. We're going to look at that later in our class. So next, we're going to be moving over to HTML iframes. Yeah, the I is I like capital letter I in frames joined together. So an HTML iframe is used to display a web page within a web page. So next we're going to be looking at HTML iframe syntax. So the HTML iframe tag specifies an inline frame, and an inline frame is used to embed another document within the current HTML document. So for those who want to write down notes and maybe I'm too fast with whatever I'm saying, I'm still going to be dropping the link to our blog where you can get the necessary notes for you to be able to study for better understanding. So now the syntax for iframe, let's have this. So iframe src equals let's use a blog URL, Fentech 7.blogspot.com. Yeah, that's the address for our blog. And next, let's have title equals to let's have Fentech blog. Then we're going to close this. Oh my god. So let's okay, so we're going to close this here, and remember I said an HTML iframe is used to display a web page within a web page. So now I'm going to give you guys a tip. It is a good practice to always include a title attribute for the iframe, which is what we did. We just made it Fentech blog. Now this is used by screen readers to read out what the content of the iframe is. So first of all, let's sort out this problem. Okay, so we're going to save Ctrl S, and let's see what this will give us on our web page. Okay, so let's say kind of like our blog is meant to show here. That's the profile and everything is meant to show here, but it's saying it may have been moved, edited, or deleted. Yeah. So furthermore into the class, we're going to be explaining or dwelling more on iframe elements. So we also have iframe to set height and width. We have iframe to remove the border and the rest. But we're going to be looking at further into the class. So now, for a little summary, I'm going to say the HTML iframe tag specifies an inline frame, and the SR attribute defines the URL of the page. Like I said, the SR attribute defines the URL attribute of the page to embed, and always include a title attribute for screen readers, and the height and width attributes specify the size of the iframe. I'm going to be looking at the height and width attributes. Furthermore, that is in it's meant, yeah, it's okay in HTML, but it can also be done. Okay, no, it can't be done in CSS, but it's in HTML, in HTML. So we're going to use the next thing, use border none to remove the border around the iframe. So that's mostly done in CSS, which is going to come later in the class. So I really don't know why this is showing, but later in the class we're going to know why that is showing. But for now, I just need you guys to take note of these key points. And lastly, iframe elements define an inline frame. So that's all for today's class. Okay, sorry. Why it's not showing is because we're using a blog, not a normal URL. So not like this is not a URL, but I would prefer you use URL that's known on mostly on Google. Like maybe let's try using our youtube.com. Let's see if that will work. So let's see. And okay, so it's still showing the same thing. So I guess either it's network or there's something wrong with our code, but we're going to sort that out later in our class. So that will be all for today's class. Next, we're going to moving into the head elements, HTML head elements. See you guys. Bye. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you.